Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Annie and this is See My Bliss _beauty. Today I'm finally getting around to filming my 5 least used palettes from brands that I love. I did film the opposite of this, my most used palettes, a couple of months ago. Meant to film this video right after, and then I got sick and went away for a couple of months, but I'm back and we are going to get started on this video. Before we do, I do want to just make this standard disclaimer that if I mention a palette that you love, please don't take it personally. We all have different tastes in makeup. We all use products differently. Products work differently on different skin types, even on eyeballs. I'm very oily skin type, which means my eyelids are also very oily. My skin tone might be different than your skin tone, so things might behave and look differently on me than they do on you. So this is just meant to be fun. Please don't take any offense at anything. And with that being said, let's get started. We're going to start with one of my all-time favorite brands, and that is Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have lots of her palettes and I love them and I think they're amazing. But I have 2 that I don't love. Well, it's not that I don't love them. Well, I don't know. I don't ever use them. So the first one, I'm not really even sure why I purchased, other than I got sucked in by holiday packaging. And that is the Soft Glam Glump. That is the Soft Glam palette. Why did I buy this? I am not a neutral loving girl at all. And this is just your basic ass bitch palette. I mean, it's pretty. I can look at this objectively and say, oh yeah, that's really pretty. I think that the color story, it works really well together. I know that all of these colors play really well together on your eyes and you can get some really beautiful, soft glam looks out of this. But I am not a soft glam kind of girl. I want bright shades. I want glitter. I want pastels. I want neons. This is not, no, that's not it. I know that the reason I purchased this, honestly, is because I got sucked in by these cute little chests. They're so cute. I mean, this one was the Modern Renaissance and Soft Glam. So, you know, they've got these cute little drawers and I've got my little Modern Renaissance in there. And then the Soft Glam goes down here. And of course, when I purchased this, I've had Modern Renaissance for years. It's one of my favorite palettes, one of my most used palettes, actually. Absolutely adore that palette. So I didn't need Modern Renaissance. I purchased it really for the box and because I was like, oh yeah, it'll be nice to have a neutral palette that I can do like neutral looks with. So yeah, that didn't work out so well for me. I did give Modern Renaissance, the new one that came in this box, I gave it to one of the girls that was in my daughter's high school band. She is a big makeup lover as well, and we talk makeup all the time. So I just passed that along to her. And now I have a box to sit on my desk holding a palette I love and a palette I never use. That was a waste of money. Yay. Moving on, my second ABH palette. I'm just going to put all, see, I still have this slip and everything in here. The brush that's never been used. We're going to put that back over there. My next ABH palette that I purchased and was really excited about when I purchased it because the color story is the complete opposite end of the spectrum as this one. Super bright, super bold, super beautiful. Was so excited about it. And then I never use it. And that is the Alyssa Edwards palette. I mean, it just speaks to my soul, this packaging. It's bright pink. It's got her Alyssa Edwards winky eye, you know, it's all sassy, super cute. The colors are bright, they are bold, they are so beautiful. But I absolutely never use this palette. Believe is not my favorite purple. I have to say that. Maybe that's kind of what turns me off of it. It does go patchy on my eyes the few times that I have tried to use it, and I don't love that. And when that happens, it kind of just turns me off of the whole thing. And I think the other thing that I don't really love about this is the shimmers. There's 3 shimmer shades: Beyond, DDC, and Inspire, and they're all pretty to look at in the pan, but I like a super foiled metallic eyeshadow look. And these just are not the same quality. They're not the same as like the ones in the Riviera and the ones in, what is this other one? Sultry, or even like the Norvina palette. So I think, let me just kind of show you the difference. Let me see if I can find a gold one. Oh, let's see. I should have pulled this out before. I don't know that there's really any that's like super comparable. We'll take Steampunk from the Sultry palette, which is a palette that I super, super love, and I'll compare it to Inspire. So this is the Sultry palette. This is Steampunk, and then this one here is Inspire. They're different tones. This one's definitely lighter, but even when you feel them in the pan, the shadows in the Sultry palette are just so rich and creamy. They have that kind of flakiness, which doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people don't like that flakiness, but you can just see how much more reflective that one is. Again, this is Sultry, and this is from Alyssa Edwards up here. You can just see it's just so much more reflective. And you put that on top of a glitter glue, and it is just drop dead gorgeous. And these shimmers in here, they just don't do that. They don't have, they have it. They just don't have it. They just don't have it. So that just kind of turns me off between the lackluster shimmers, which I'm sure a lot of people really enjoy, and this Patchy Believe. I'm sorry, I don't love it. It makes me sad. Wipe my hand off now. All right, moving on to another brand that I love. This is a brand, when I first, I've been wearing makeup most of my life, you know, since a junior high, like 12 or something, right? Of course, fiddled around a little bit in 6th grade, but we weren't allowed makeup at all in 6th grade. But by the time I got to junior high, we could go all out. It was the 80s, but there you go. But one of my first like favorite brands that I just fell in love with, all the way back when I was in like probably high school when I had money of my own to spend, was Urban Decay. And I still love Urban Decay, even though their aesthetic has kind of changed a little bit. They're not quite as edgy as they used to be. But I guess it's like my first most loved brand ever. And so I'm still very loyal to Urban Decay, and I just love them. I love their holiday releases. I don't think I bought this year's though. It was too neutral. But usually they have a colorful palette for the holidays, and I grab it while it's fresh, when it just comes out. I do not wait for them to go on sale. They always go on sale. That's a pro tip. If you want an Urban Decay holiday release, wait a couple of months and it will go on sale. But I never do. Do as I say, not as I do. Anyways, this was their holiday release a few years ago. This is the Elements palette. And I mean, I loved the packaging. I know most people don't like round packaging. They want something that stacks, they can put on their shelf or whatever. This fits fine in my drawer. I don't have a problem with it. I love this outer packaging. It is so cool. It's so pretty. I love these kind of glittery letters, and it's just pretty. It's got a huge mirror in it, which is super nice, especially, I don't know, it's just super nice. I really like the huge mirror. And then it's got these shadows, which frankly, again, this is the same problem that I have with the Alyssa Edwards palette, and really the Soft Glam is the same way. These shimmers are just lacking for me. Again, I want something with a lot of punch, a lot of reflectivity, and this ain't it. So I never use it, like ever. There's only 4 matte shadows. There is this one, this one, this one, and this one, which is got like those little fine particles of glitter in it. They just go on like a matte. But you have to pull in another palette for this if you want matte shadows in the creases. It just doesn't really work like this. You've got to pull something else in. And again, these shimmers are not great. Mine are looking very dusty because for a while before I had all this set up, I was actually using this palette just for the mirror because it was easy. So I would just leave it on my table I've got a cat hair on my nose. I would just leave it on my table, and yeah, so my shadows are looking kind of dusty. They're not looking their best. But there's just nothing in here that is super unique and super like I must have it. These brown shimmers, why do those exist? I don't want a dark brown. I don't want that on my lid. Look at it. It's just not, it's not cute. It's not. And you can see how sheer that is. Like, I really have to dig in there, and then it looks like dirt. It just looks like straight up dirt. I don't want to put dirt on my eyes. And that's what I feel like I'm doing, is rubbing dirt on my eyes. I've never used that shadow. In fact, I think today's the first time I've ever touched that shadow. It's ugly. So I don't know. I don't know why I purchased this palette, other than it was Urban Decay, and I love Urban Decay. And yeah, no, this one's not for me either. Next palette that I don't adore is my Colorpop. You know I love my Colorpop. It is cheap. It is good quality. They perform amazing on the eyes, except for this palette. This is the Butter Me Up palette, which is so cute. I mean, this is another I fell for the packaging moment. It is so cute. I love the glittery butterflies. They are so adorable. I love this kind of mauve-y color. It's one of my favorite colors of life, I think. It's just so, so pretty, and it's so elegant. I adore it. And then the inner packaging, also super cute. It's got those butterflies, and that's a pretty palette. I look at that and I go, that is so, so pretty. This shade right here, what is that called? Fleet, and then this one on a Whimsy. These two shimmers, I think, are incredibly beautiful. Here I kind of, well, terrible swatches, swatched them there above the dirt colored from the Urban Decay palette. This silver is just, I love it. I think this is a really, really pretty palette. The only thing is, every time I go to use this palette, I wind up with a hot mess on my face. I don't know what it is. I cannot get this palette to turn out a good eye look to save my soul. Usually I don't have a problem. I can usually save it. But with this palette, every time I pick it up, every time I'm like, oh, I'm going to use this palette, I don't know what happens. I wind up with a hot mess, and I have to wipe it off, and I have to start again. So yeah, I don't know. Again, it's super pretty. It does have two pressed glitters, and again, I don't mind that. This one is beautiful, overpacked, and I mean, this one is island hopping. They have this kind of whitish, you know, white base glitter in a lot of their palettes. So that was not special, but I really do like this one. So maybe what I need to do is just kind of pull out the shades that I actually like from this palette and get rid of the rest. But I have a hard time just taking palettes apart. I don't know. It's my weird neurosis. So yeah, sorry, Colorpop. Butter Me Up is just not my favorite. And then my last palette that is very, very often not used. Kind of makes me sad, because this is probably, well, it is. It's not probably, no probably about it. This is one of my favorite indie brands, and that's Nomad Cosmetics. I love Nomad Cosmetics. I love their story. If you haven't tried Nomad Cosmetics before, I highly suggest them. I absolutely love, love, love their products. They do this really cool thing where every single palette that they release is actually designed on location. So this palette is the Marrakesh palette, which means they went to Marrakesh, they stayed in Marrakesh, and they designed the color story in this palette around Marrakesh. I think it's the packaging, again, super pretty. Big mirror in there, and this is the color story. And it's a really pretty color story. It really is. It's bright, it's bold, it's vibrant. You would think that this would be one that I would be all in for. But I don't know what it is. I just never reach for this. It's so pretty, but I never use it. You can see it's still got all of the little stamps on each of the shadows. Yeah, this is the one I've used the most. I don't know, which is odd for me again because it's like a brown color. But anyways, so the cool thing again is their formula. Their formula changes from palette to palette because they add ingredients into their shadows that can be found on location. So they've added oils and things like this that come from Marrakesh. So yeah, I mean, I love them, and I love their thought process and their philosophy when it comes to building palettes and making color stories. I think it's super cool. And the owners are also like super nice people. I don't know them personally. I have no affiliation with them at all, other than me purchasing their products and them sending them to me after I've paid money for them. But they're just the nicest people. After every single palette purchase, they send you an email to thank you for your purchase. They also include inside of the package, they include a little postcard with the destination on it and a handwritten note, which, I mean, that is so cool and so special. And they're very interactive and very responsive online. I, of course, follow them on Instagram, and something was going on. I can't even remember what it was. Maybe it was the fires or something. I don't remember. But I was gone for a bit off Instagram, and they actually just came over and checked on me to see how I was. They just dropped me a little note to check in and see if I was okay, because they hadn't seen me for a little while. So yeah, they're super nice people, and I love supporting them, and I'm glad I have this palette just because I'm glad to support the brand that I love, but I never use it. I don't know, maybe come fall I'll use it more because I could see like some really cool fall looks out of this, but it just has not called to me since I purchased it. I purchased it, I want to say, in December. So I'm a little sad that I never use it. Maybe this fall, maybe this will change. I don't know. So yeah, I'm sorry. It's just not one of my favorite palettes, but it is gorgeous, and I highly recommend you check out this brand. They're amazing. So I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. So anyways, I have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'd love to hear from you. Do you have palettes that you purchased that you were super excited about, and then you got them and then they just sit there in your makeup space and take up space and you never use them? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Do you have any of these palettes? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you feel about them? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to hit that like button. And while you're down there, just kind of scooch on over, hit subscribe. And if you'd like to see more of me, I am on Instagram as well. My Instagram handle is at @seemybliss_beauty. It's the same thing that it is here. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video, and hopefully you'll come say hi on Instagram. Bye, have a great day.